Hello everyone, how are you? So from today onwards, I'm gonna start doing projects on basic JavaScript at first. The basic JavaScript means the vanilla JavaScript. So this is my first video um, on JavaScript, and I'm gonna start doing the vanilla JavaScript projects, and later on we'll be moving to other things like the JavaScript and the React and the complete web development, to be clear. And okay, so from today onwards, I'm gonna be uploading all the JavaScript projects and everything on my channel. If you like it, please like, share, and subscribe. So, coming to our first project, we are gonna do a simple form validator today. The basic one you can see over here. It's a basic one, and the username, email, password, confirm password. And if there isn't any entry in any of the field, it's gonna indicate red, such that showing that these fields are to be filled. But if we provide some information, the final information, once we provide like anything, even I'm matching the passwords for it to be clear, the final one would be, yep. So if the information is valid, the email is valid, password is strong, the password's matched. So once we press the submit button, this is how it's gonna show us to us. So this will be our final output. So let's start doing it. So coming to our Visual Studio Code. So this one is the editor which I'm going to use for all of my projects because I really liked it, and I have my own extensions downloaded in it. So if you want any, you could look at any YouTube video or anything to download any extensions. Visual Studio Code has a lot of extensions actually. So first of all, since I'm gonna start with basics, I'm gonna do everything from the scratch. So first of all, I'm gonna open my file, which I have saved already. If I would see, I would start my folder where I placed my HTML. If you open this, you cannot see anything, but if I click it, I selected a folder. You could see that I have selected the folder, and I've also saved it in the name of index.html. Since we have emmet and the raw HTML code we need to put in at first is if we press shift, I'm using a Windows, so if it's like shift plus exclamation mark and then press enter, you would get the basic HTML, the raw HTML which you can start with. So I'm gonna give the title as form validator. Okay. And first of all, I'm gonna open this in my live server, which is another extension of HTML where we could see our coding live. Now, the first thing we are gonna do is, so first of all, to start with our projects, you need to have the basic knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. These are the basic knowledge for the projects which I'll be doing. So to start with, I'm going to create a form with a class of container. So in this, we'll be having everything related to us. So at first we see, so this one is our container, which is complete container, which is our form. And then we have a heading called register with us, and we are going to have this heading for like h2 maybe. So we can have a comment too. For comments, you need to press Control plus the question mark thing, and it's Control let me do it again. Control plus question mark, and you could see that we could have a heading. Oops, bear with my typing error, please. So if we press and register with us, okay, yep, register with us. Here you could see register with us. So this is our first heading, which we already did as per this. So we have to style it in our CSS. This one, it won't be like in default, as you guys already know. So the next thing is we have to create the label and the input field for everything. So username will be the label, and the name to be provided will be the input. So we are gonna create a div for everything. So the first one I would provide with a class of form, and I would give a label for this one as the label, and also the input type text, name, and everything. And we need to, as we know that we need to match the label and ID for it to be 1. So I would give the connection one with the name, the ID with the name, as we are going to use it for the username. And so that's why I have put name here, since it should be the same so that to get connected. And we are going to provide our username here, which you could see coming over here. So input type name ID, that's it. We just got our username with an input field. So what we want next is email, password, confirm password. So we'll be having the same for all the other 3 too. So just change the fields. So here it will be email. If you're able to see, you could see that everything's coming in order. Then we have confirm password, and also for email, the type will be email. For password too, the type would be password, and the label would be password. For the ID should be password too. As you could see, those are forming on its own as we are creating. As we could see here that everything's forming. As this one is a confirm, so confirm password. So we are going to give the ID as confirm password. Name confirm password. And this one is also password, so we will be giving the type as password. So we could see we got all our things which we want. But so here we could see that we have something inside saying us to enter your name, enter your email, enter your password, confirm your password. For that, we need to put the placeholder. If you go back to our thing, placeholder would be equal to enter your name. I'll let it. Then you could see that we have the same thing. And if we copy paste it in everything and just change the input, placeholder, enter your email, and then enter your password, confirm password, as we could see that we have everything now. And the last thing we are left is with a button, and we are done with everything, the heading, the input fields, username, email, password, confirm password, and the only left thing is submit button. So we're gonna create a button in here, and button submit. Yep, so we are done with our HTML here. Everything, we included everything. That's it. Now let's move to our CSS. We need to create a CSS file for that. Oh, also I forgot. First of all, let's create a CSS file, which I will be here, new file, styles.css. I gave it a name and press enter. So we could see that we have a new file called styles.css. But first of all, we have to see that we have to link our HTML with our CSS. For that, here we would be linking our HTML with CSS with link, and then the h reference would be styles.css. Oops. Bear with my typo, please. And then, as we could see, just for checking that our CSS is linked with our HTML, I would just give the body background color of black. Yep, you could see that our file has changed completely. It means that our our CSS is connected to our HTML, is linked with our HTML. So now, here we are gonna make everything look good in styles.css styling. So first of all, I'm gonna put everything with border box. Oh, sorry, box sizing. Bear with my typo. Border box, so that such that everything lies within the box and nothing goes, the text doesn't go outside. Then I'm gonna give the body as display flex. Then we could see that our file, our form validator is getting changed, and I'm gonna put everything in the center. For that, I would be having center, and you could see that it came to our center. And for it to come down in the middle of our web page, we would be having align items, which would place it vertically in the center here. But we could see that it still didn't move. It still didn't move down to the center. It's because we didn't mention our minimum height of the web page. So our minimum height of the web page, if I provide 100 view height as viewed, as you could see, it just dropped down. So that's a mistake I've seen, like while I'm doing it. I used to do this mistake too, like every time I'm doing align items, but I'm not able to move down at all. And I used to go crazy over this, but then I realized like I have to mention the height of the web page such that my code knows that, okay, so since it's 100 view height, I have to put it at center. So this is one of the basic mistake I used to do when I started coding. So now we can start first with our main CSS styling. So first of all, I want to design this border for this one. For that, our class for everything, the border would be, you could see here that our class is container. So I would just choose container, and I would give simply a border for now, which would be 2 pixel black, solid and black. Oops. You could see that we got our border. I didn't like those sharp edges at the back, so I would just give a border radius for maybe 5. Is it good? No. maybe with my favorite number 7. Okay, what if I go to 10? Yeah, it's perfect now. 10 looks really good. But I didn't like that these things are getting attached. I need some padding for this. Yep. So I would just provide some padding. So I'll be defining the top and vertical, like for maybe 10 pixel vertical and 15 pixel horizontal. How about this? Okay, it's good. Maybe I need some more space in here. Maybe the horizontal, how about 20? Yeah, it's good. And even the horizontal, even the vertical, I would put as 15. Yeah, it's good now, as you could see. Maybe we could adjust it later as per our thing, but yeah, right now it's perfect. Also, now we are almost like done with the border and everything. Now, if we want to style our H2 register with us, for that, I'm gonna take some Google font. So I selected our H2 selector, H2 element here. I'm gonna use a Google font of Langar, and it's it's really good. I really liked it. So I'm gonna go to the Google fonts. I've just typed Langar. Yep. I'm just gonna select this and I'm gonna import, oops, the link for this one and paste it on my HTML, just like the way I did for CSS, and I could use it now. And also, where's my, oh yeah, here it is. I'm gonna use my selected style. Now, just if you just see how our styles change, you could just see our register with us being really looking good now. It looks the same, I guess. Yeah, it looks the same, but it's in the center, so we just need to put it in the center, which would be our text align would help us in doing this. Perfect. We are done with our H2 now. So let's move to our next thing, which is our input, our labels, username, email, password, confirm password. So I'm gonna select all my labels, and first of all, we could see here that it has its own place. It's not compromising with the inputs, it is having its own space. So for it to have its own thing, we'll be giving it display of it having an inline now. So I would just change it to block, and you could see that all our username are having its own thing. It's not defined with everything. And first of all, I also forgot to tell you, like, I want to put the width of the container as 300 pixels, which would make it look big. Yep, perfect. And yep, coming to labels, I've changed the display to block, which shows that all my labels are having its own space now. It looks really good now, right? Also, I'm gonna give something more, which is like the username to be like look have some, oops, okay, to have its own space. You could see that the font is also different. Okay, I will change the font too. I guess I remember the font, it's Pirate 1. It looks stylish too. I like the stylish stuff a lot. So I'm gonna change the font first because I really like the font. I'm gonna go back to Google Fonts. So I'm having this issue with the Yahoo. I don't understand. I don't want to spend my time on it. Pirate one. Yep, here it is. So I'm gonna select style. I'm gonna do the same thing. Copy, paste it in our HTML. Just simple. And I'm gonna select the font tool this time. Okay. We're gonna remove everything. That's it. Go back. Just look at how the font changes now. Oh wow, it looks good, right? But it's a bit like not bold. So I'm gonna just change the font way to bolder. Oops. I think it's better now. It looks the same, I guess. Yeah, it looks the same. It's just having some margin bottom and everything. Maybe I will put them. So first of all, if you want to see what my labels are actually like, where does it extend and everything, I'm gonna put it as, I'm gonna show you actually. So many people get confused while they are styling. So at first I used to get confused too. Then I started like developing the border for everything in order for me not to get confused. If I just give it something like red, you could see this one is my label now. I would style everything inside this box. If I just give it as some padding of like maybe my favorite one, 7 pixel. See, if I just take this one out now, you could see how does it look now exactly. See, this is what I was saying, like if you're a starter and you want to, if you're getting confused while styling, just use this one. For sure, it would, you would not be confused for a long time after a long practice. So I'm gonna remove the padding because I could see that there's a padding here too and I didn't like it. So I'm gonna go with margin. So if I'm using margin, how about the vertical thing to be 5 pixel and the horizontal, I don't want anything horizontal. And I'm gonna also define my padding. I don't want any horizontal, but I need some vertical. I need it to be maybe 5 pixel. Yeah, it looks good. And 0. Such that I don't have any horizontal padding. I think it's good. If I just remove my border, isn't it? Yeah, it's perfect. It looks the same. So we are done with our labels too. So please do remember this border thing. Whenever you're getting confused, please create a border and you could style it within the border. Now, moving on to our label, our input. Select our input. So what all we have to do? The outline, and the placeholder, some text, padding and everything. So first of all, I'm gonna do some padding and see how it reacts. I wanna have padding for 5 pixel and horizontal 0. Yep, perfect. And how am I having horizontal 0 for here? I'm having some padding over here too, as you could see. So I'm gonna put some basic and even the upper padding. Is it the 5 or yeah, 5 is good. Maybe 7. Let's stick to our favorite number. Yeah, it's perfect. And like some horizontal padding for sure, maybe 3 pixel. 5 5. Yeah, this one looks good now. Okay. What about like if I put the border as none? Does it do anything? Oh, I'm not able to see the border. No. So yeah. So outline. Oops, sorry. So yeah. So we want the border to be some other color. Do we need that? Okay. Maybe border 1 pixel, solid, blush development. This is how it is actually. And also, if I want to put my width to be 100% of... Okay, so first of all, I need you to see the... since we have the div for forms everywhere, so we have seen that we have created a class of form for every input and label, I mean like input and the label. So I want you to see that we have a form. So if I show you the form, solid red again, you could see that this is our form. So even if I'm putting my input label as 100%, so in this box, since we divided the, we said like everything should be box sizing border box. So if we put our label, our input as width 100%, this is what most people get confused in the start, like what does this 100% mean and what's the difference between the 100% and the 100 view width. So since our form is having, we could see here our form is having this much of width. If I'm putting the inside things, the elements as 100%, it would cover the 100%. As you could see, our input has increased. If I take this one out, our inputs are of the normal size, but if I'm putting it back, we could see that they have stretched to 100%. So I wanted to show you this width 100% because it's a simple thing, but most of the people get confused in the start. So just as you know, so I'm telling you the problems which I face so that you guys could be good at it. Not like me, who suffered a lot in the start. People used to ask me like why I took so much time to learn these small things, but it's worthy, right? Isn't it? So if I just take the border for this one, it doesn't look good, right? And yeah, now it's perfect actually, isn't it? We are almost done with everything. Just the submit button. We are left with the submit button. So if I take the button and style it, so first of all, I want the button to have a margin of maybe 5. Margin top of 5. I will keep the margin top, maybe 5, 10. It's not enough, it doesn't look enough. Or maybe 15. Yep, it looks good now. Okay. And also, if I want to put the width to be 100%. I don't think I defined the form for this one, a class for this one. What if I... Oh yeah, it's perfect. And also, if I text align it in the center, I want the text to be perfect. And it's already in the center, I guess. I need not do anything. So is it? Yeah, it's in the center. It's fine even if I define. It's not gonna overlap anything. So, and do we need to do anything? Is it the color? Okay. And I think it's also having the cursor pointer. Yep. So if I define the cursor pointer, yep, we could see, okay, it's having a cursor pointer and also some padding. I don't like the submit button to be like that. Maybe the padding of some like 10 pixel. Is it good? No, it looks worth 5. Oh yeah, maybe your favorite number again. 7 is it the same as 7? Yeah, it's okay. Maybe 5 was better, I guess. Not the favorite number this time. Yeah, 5 looks better. And also, how about our font family in this one too? Isn't it good? Now, if we define it as the font weight to be bold, it looks perfect now. Just the background color. Something like, how about this one? It looks like flower. Oh yeah, it looks good. And maybe we could define our border too. The color, maybe 1 pixel, solid. That looks good on this one. It's perfect, isn't it? Isn't it the same? Wow, it's the same, man. Wow, you must be so happy. Good, right? So we are done with our CSS. Apart from the basic small things which we need to have, like if you don't submit anything, it becomes red. So we need to have something of a class that shows a border of red. How about we define it as the error class of a border of the same, this one. If we go to the inputs, we are having 1 pixel solid. So here I define 1 pixel solid, and I have something for red. It's RGB 66, 248, and 112. Oh no, sorry, it's for green actually. I'm so sorry. 246, 54, and 54. So it's for red. So we go back to our thing, and we could, if we see that we don't have, and we just include the class error. Maybe here. Oh, sorry, it's form, right? So I have to include it in the input of class error. Wow, we could see that we got something. And also, I just saw this. We are having some border radius out of our inputs. We forgot to do that. Okay, so, but you got to see that we have this one now red. So whenever we, in JavaScript, we are gonna do that. So we have an error class now, and a little bit inputs that we are gonna have some border radius. Border radius of 3 pixel maybe. Does it look good? It's okay, isn't it? Maybe 5. Maybe 7. Not so good looking. 7 is fine, I guess. Not consider more about that. So we have our error class. What about our success class then? Like, if everything is right here, it changes to, like if I give something input, it's to green. So we need some class for that. And I'm gonna put that as, yes, we have succeeded in doing that. So I'm gonna put the class name as success. Now this one is gonna be 248, 112. Oh, 112. So we have if something like if you see that we are getting something here, the passwords do not match, the password is strong, and even if like email, and and email is invalid, and also like if I'm just having something like right something username, so we are having some letters in here, so we need to have this one too. I forgot to add this one in our HTML, so I'm gonna put something as small tag as maybe error, something as error, and I'm gonna add it in everywhere, every of our form. I'm gonna use this in JavaScript mainly. So we could see that we have got everywhere the error. Now, what we're gonna do with the small is we are gonna make a, oh, sorry, it's not a class. We are gonna make it, we are gonna hide it as of now. See, we are not able to see the form, so we are gonna hide it as of now. Oh, isn't our class too much? I think we should like we have done a lot. I guess something like the padding or the margin should be a little less. Do we have to do that now? It's okay, you could change the padding and everything. That's fine. It's not a great thing to change. So we have the visibility hidden. But then for this, we are gonna have another one, just to a class to show that visibility is none. I mean like visibility is visible. So if we are gonna add the class of show to the small, then the visibility is gonna be visible. Anything else we have to do here? Okay, we did almost everything. Oh, we have to keep this as confirm password. Oops. Confirm password. Placeholder. Oh, okay. Okay, now we could see everything's perfect now, I think. Isn't it there? That's good. So now let's move to our main JavaScript. Okay. So for it's the same way as you created the style. So now we are at JavaScript, but we have to link our JavaScript to our HTML too. So I'm just going to add a script in here. Oops. I'm so bad at typos, right? href is equal to app.js. For it to see that if it's working, with this console log dot hey. Oh. Just to see that if it's working. I have a lot of things here. It's not. Oh, we are not getting anything. Oh, sorry. It's actually not href. It's actually source. Maybe now. If I define it again. Source app.js. Oh yeah, here it is. Or hey, I think you could see it. Oh, so it's linked to our HTML now. So what we are gonna do is we are gonna style with our JavaScript now. So first of all, we are gonna access everything from HTML in order to style it. So we have to access the username, the input, the labels, and the inputs to be like clear. And we need to access the submit button, anything else, and yeah, maybe the form. Yeah. So first of all, I'm gonna do like a constant username. So you might be knowing this, like I'm using a capital in the second word. So it's called camel case notation in JavaScript. So document.query, query selector, and I'm going to use a username with since we'll be using an ID. So the ID for my username is name, so I'm going to use it for name. If you want to text it, maybe you could text it like this: username dot value dot inner text. Oh, oops, it's inner text, or maybe text count. Oh, why am I not having it? So why is it okay? Yep, so if you want to test it, username, like console.log username maybe. My God, why am I doing so many mistakes? So if you see our console, yep, you could see here, we got our username, everything, which is our HTML thing here, with the label and everything. So this one is our, the label. So this one would be our username. In the same way, I'm going to access the other things. The email to be with the name email. I think I'm using the correct IDs. This one I would take it as password, and this one as confirm password. So I'll just check if I've taken this correct IDs, password, confirm. So this one is confirm. And this one is gonna be password, email. Yep, so we got everything. Now we have to take the form. Wait. Form. So I'm gonna just select the selector, the form. So we have the form now. So the first thing we are gonna do is, when we click the form, what we are gonna have a function. I hate this. Function with our event. So first, every time we do a form, we have to do this prevent default so that nothing happens when we click. Yep, it defines an. So when we click the submit button, I just want to see if I'm this one is working. So what if I console.log username dot value, if I'm putting something here and submit, am I able to see anything? Yeah, we saw something, we are having it, so it's working. So now the first thing, so we're gonna go directly to the things. The first thing we need to do is the empty one, so empty field check if there isn't anything defined in the fields, so we have to make it red. So what we need to do is I'm gonna do it in a simple way. So we are just gonna define the functions here and the empty field check, and for the start, I'm gonna define a username, and if I'm writing some function here for the empty field check, if I'm like empty field check, if I'm having some input, let me define it in the ES6 way. Constant empty field check arrow functions. I love arrow functions a lot. So input, so what we need to do. So if input dot value, which is equal to empty, then console.log, hey, it's working. Else, if it's not empty, console.log, I need the input.value then. So I just want to see if it's working once. Username, everything's right. Okay. So if it's empty, we should get hey. So I'm just checking it here. So did we get a hey? Yo, we got a hey. So yeah, what if I'm like giving some input? So we should get the value, right? Oh, wow, we are getting the value now. So everything's right. I'm just gonna clear it. Yep, it's working. So we need to define this for every other field. But before that, we have to write what would happen if the field is empty. What do we need to do? So for that, we have defined the class of error. We should be like this, and this class should be on the border of the inputs. Oops, on the border of the inputs. So what we want is, if the input.value is empty, then our input should have a class name error. Is it working? Let me check once again. If the input is empty, should have a class name of error. Oh wow, it's working so perfect, right? Isn't it? So what else we need? But if it's not empty, what we need to do is we need to have the input class name to be success. I guess that's what I gave it. So if it's like something in here, oh wow, we got it, like it's working, right? So now we're just gonna give, so now what we want is like we need to have the value of everything. So how do we pass everything? It would be easy if we just create an array. Easy, yeah, with array. Email and password, and what was the last one? The confirm password. Yo, yep. We have done. Yep, we defined our array. But for here, it should be array, and for every input field to pass on input dot for each our array method, and the element if our element, I'm gonna change these things. So did we do everything right? If I'm providing some input, so in the input takes the for each will take the first value of the input, the class name. I'll just check it if it's working. Oh, it's working perfectly. We got everything right. What if I'm providing something? Yo, we got our first thing actually. We did it. So we are done with the empty fields already. Now the next thing would be to check The username length, I wanted to put it as like the minimum username length should be. It doesn't look good with the capital N here. I think we should make it as small. I'm just addicted to this camel case notation a lot that I'm using it even in my daily life. It sucks. Yep, it looks good now. So if we are doing so now we have to like use a length check of username. So I just would like to pass our username this, and also okay. So if I'm having like length check of my element, I sucked again at this length. I can't even remember the spelling of a length. It sucks. It's always the problem with me. I'm not able to remember the length spelling. So yeah, so what we want to do is like once the length is like smaller, the minimum should be like 3 and the max not 3, maybe like, yeah, 3 is fine for a username. Yeah, not 3, maybe 5, and the maximum should be 30. So first of all, we have to see that our input that value is not equal to empty. Then only it should come, right? Then only we should see, or have we put anything here? Okay, doesn't look good. Okay, so if our input value is not equal to, is like it's not empty, then if our input dot value is less than or equal to 3, we want this error to be shown, but we didn't access it, right? Okay, so we should access it first. Maybe the constant small equal to from HTML, the DOM element query selector, and I'm accessing the small now, and I've added a class for this. Oh, the visible. Okay, show dot show. If it's like if it's less than 1, so I would give the small to a class name of show. I'll just check it, like if I put some 2 words. Oh, it's not showing, right? Why? Yeah, so the class name is show. If I try it again, maybe. Did we access the small, okay. By the way, okay, if I put like the username value is less than or equal to 3, the small, okay, if maybe, no, maybe if I add the tag here to it. Oh, there's some error in somewhere. If we access here the small that class name is equal to show, maybe. Let's try it in the other way. Class list dot add show. Oh yeah, this one we could access this one actually. Why am I doing the class name here? Okay, let's check it again. Now the element dot value, call this correctly, length check username. So we are not getting this show added your class name. Maybe what's the mistake that uh okay, yeah, I got it actually. I'm such an idiot. We didn't do the length. So yeah, I can't say the just value less than 3. I need to say the value, the length of the value. So if we do it now, maybe UEE. Yeah, perfect. We are getting it. But I don't want to do it in this way, like adding the small class, because we have a lot of classes in here. Sorry, a lot of small elements in here. So what I'm gonna do is like go to the, I'm just gonna take this one out and where were we? Okay, what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna go to the parent element of this and I'm gonna come to the last child, last element child, and I'm gonna add the class name to show. Is it working? Oh, perfect, it's working. Yeah, because for every time it's gonna be different, and so but I can't write it every time, so I'm gonna define this to like something else, like here itself, like constant or small maybe. So last element child, and for all of this I'm gonna just use small now. I think it should work. Oh, it's working, perfect. So if it's less than 3 or and also we want the small inner text or maybe the text content to be username should be greater than 3 characters. So it's perfect, right? It is working now. And also, what if we add a class of oh, there's no color. Okay, maybe we just add color here. Small dot style dot color equal to what was there? Why am I selecting this all the time? RGB. What if we put the color like this? Okay. Oh yeah, but how about like we define it here itself, the color actually, the default color of RGB, so like the small to be here, and we just take like the default would be that, so that's not a problem. And then the next if it's like else if it's or maybe minimum should be 3, maximum should be like 13. So I'm just gonna copy paste this one, or it's greater than 13. So should be, I'll use the same here. Show username should be less than 13 characters. I think it will work. If I do some random input, yeah, it's working perfectly. So we have our length check too done. So now we need some valid email and the password, and that's it right there. The password check. Maybe I will do the password first. I don't like to do the password check, and I would just pass the password. What we need to do in here is like I want the password is strong, and maybe if the password is less than 3, we should have the small as like password is weak. If it's in between 3 to 8, it would be like password is moderate. If it's like more than 8, it should be password is strong. So I want to have that here. Our constant password check should be, our element should be equal to, oh, first of all, it should not be empty. So if it's not empty, then what I'm gonna do is the length if element dot value dot length is less than 3. Yeah, we want it less than 3. Then how about we have the same thing in here, but we need to define the small, because I need to define the small in here. There should be something that I could. So small, the password is moderate here. Password is weak. Maybe, yep. So since it's, oh, why is it like this? We have one. Where's this one from? Else if el.value.length is less is greater than 3, and el.value.length is less than or equal to 8. Oops, I want this. Password is moderate. And I also need the color to be green. Here it should be red, it's as it's weak, but moderate is fine. I think the color should be red, so I would just take the color from here. Should be red, and the password is greater than 8, the class name should be show password is strong, and yep. So I think it's working now. Let's check for less than 3. Let me put some 3 words. No, I'm not getting the path. Dot last child. Dot length. Is there anything wrong? Let me check. So it should not be greater than. It should not be less than 3. Like it gives us a warning of like if it's 2. Yep, I'm getting it. Password is weak. If I'm like having greater. I'm not having like less than or equal to 3. Let's put it as less than or equal to 3, greater than 3, and it's moderate. Okay, maybe if I'll put like something this. What's the message? Password is strong, but I need to. Why am I getting like green? I should get it as green, right? Okay, maybe I'll. Oh yeah, I copied the wrong one actually. So for the moderate too. Okay, and this one. Maybe now it's fine. password is wrong, or if like I put something as password is moderate. Yeah, that's fine. That's perfect. So we are done with the password check too, and the second last one would be uh, passwords matching. I would pass our two passwords in here. What's the second one? I guess I used the camel case for this one. Okay, confirm password, is that what I passed? And this one I'm gonna delete it. So confirm password. Okay, perfect. Confirm. Okay, yes, let's go with it. So then constant. What was the function? I'm so bad at remembering things. Passwords matching. Is that the same spelling I used? And what if I'm having two strings? Okay. So first of all, they should not be empty. So they should be filled with something. String 1 dot value is not equal to empty, and the other one 2 dot value is not equal to empty. Then only our this would work. And if str our string 1 dot value is equal to string 2 dot value, what we should have we should have like the passwords on the second one. Passwords do not match, passwords matched, right? Okay, so on the second one, I need to take the same small thing in here that should be visible. I don't like to use this again and again, but I don't know. I'm not a pro right now. I think I want to use this a common one, but yeah, it's okay. So let me take this as string 2 here. Okay, so if I'll be like having string 2 dot what do we have? What do we want? It's the same thing, right? This one, class name show, and the text contain passwords matched. Passwords matched. Let me see if I'm having the thing. Something. Okay, the next here. Okay, password is weak. We are having it, but we are not able to see it in the confirm password. Oh, okay. Passwords matching. This is what I used here. Passwords matching. Confirm password. And then confirm password dot parent element, last element child. I'm such an idiot. It should be small. Now let me check some random fill. Wait. We are not able to like see the thing if I do something. I'm still not able to see. Is it right? Passwords. I thought so. I'm so bad at this typo errors all the time. I just forgot to include the C. Okay, now let me check. If we are getting now we are having it. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this. Now if I move to the second one, else if why do I need else if it doesn't match? So show, and I would remove this one, and passwords do not match. I think it's good now. Oops, not here, here. Is it okay? Passwords do not match. Oh my god, we are done with almost everything now. I just left with the email. Whoa, okay. It's going perfect as of now. So the last thing is like valid email. We're gonna pass our email for this. So for this, actually, I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the valid email function from the Stack Overflow. Okay, how to validate an email in JavaScript. I'm just gonna copy paste from here actually. So if I put it here, so we are getting the string, and I would just use this as some element, and this one too as some element. And now I'm gonna write my function for constant valid email. Oops. Something as maybe element. Okay. So valid email, it's right this time, right? Valid email. Okay, perfect. So what I'm gonna do is, first of all, if it should not be empty, right? Not equal to empty. If I'm gonna call this validate email now, validate email. I'm gonna put our element in here. If it's right, then it should be like the same thing as this one actually. We again have to copy paste this from here, which I don't like at all. I need to find something actually to do. If you guys could suggest me something, that would be great too. So maybe here itself, and so this one is right. Email is valid. The other, and I think the default is red, so I need to make it green. So what's for our green? The success. Okay, this one is our first for our success. So else, if it's not, email is invalid. Okay, I think it's good. Maybe if I use something at test.com. Is it working? Oh, perfect. Okay. If I would use my email, like just coderman@gmail.com, it's still invalid. It's not my email, I didn't create it till now. I still have to make an email for this one, a new one for mine. Okay, I think it's actually, if not, yep. Now if I like coderman or like my own email as of now, which I didn't. Yeah, it's working perfect. I think we are done with everything now. Yes, guys, we are done with our first project. So stay tuned with for our next project, and you could see, like, if you want to see the last time, I'm gonna enter something. Maybe. Yep, it's working perfectly. Everything's so all right. So I'm gonna do my second project in the next 2 to 3 days. I'm gonna do it, and since it's my first video, it took me a lot of time, I guess. Well, I won't be taking this much time from the next time. I have to do it quick, right? It's so boring to listen to this a lot of times. And and also I would like to share my journey with you guys, like for being a coding and like traveling and doing all these things, like my profile and everything. So stay tuned and please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a good day, guys. Bye.